Sometimes life can knock you off the ground, but surprisingly, an encouraging word can hoist you back to your feet. What we all need is someone in our corner. Someone like Dr. Tanji.
Hi, I have 3 questions for you. 1, have you discovered your purpose? 2, have you discovered your ability? And 3, are you planning your life's path?
Dr. Tanji has inspired audiences on radio stations throughout the US and in the Caribbean on KISS FM with the Dr. Tanji Show. Now, sister station Hot 7 TV teams up with KISS FM to bring the Dr. Tanji Show to television.
I will share my wealth of experience, my affinity to life, and assist you in fulfilling your call. By tuning in to the Dr. Tanji Show on Hot 7 TV and KISS FM, you and I will begin to explore the answers to these questions and many more. And in these challenging times, it's just what the doctor ordered. The Dr. Tanji Show comes to Hot 7 TV on the 4th of February. Hey, good morning, and happy Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday. Don't that feel good? Welcome to another experience with the Dr. Tanji Show, and I'm your girl, Dr. Tanji, and oh boy, if you don't know already, you gotta know that I'm really happy to be here. See the smile? This show is founded on kingdom principles, and a principle, as it relates to the kingdom of God, is his original intent of the law. It is first things first. Kingdom, as it relates to our Creator, is his invisible government that we use his principles in every single day of our lives, and we begin to experience life more abundantly. And that really is what the show is about. It's a show designed to move you from where you are to where you really need and want to be. And it's a show that I get to do every single day right here on KISS FM 105.9 and on Fridays, Hot 7 TV. And in the spirit of gratitude, right? I want to stop and say to everyone, and you already know who you are, to everyone that really does hold my ladder, to everyone who said, you know what, there is a place for this kind of show with this kind of message, and we're going to make it fit. Thank you. Thank you so very much. I do not take it lightly or for granted when people are kind, and they don't really have to be, right? So thank you. And to every one of you that are listening and watching, you really are making a difference. It does make a difference when you tune in and you send in your messages on WhatsApp or call, and we hear that voice and you make your contributions. I am grateful. Thank you. And to the man that makes me sound real good. I don't know about you, but I'm loving how it sounds in my ear gate. None other than, you know, I call him Gentle Giant, but for those who know him, they know that he's Marlon. And I am grateful for you, man. Thank you. Thank you so much for making this journey easy. I have a lot coming up on the show today, but we're going to start with the context of this particular kingdom principle, and then a little later on, maybe 18 to 20 after the hour or thereabouts, we're going to open up the phone line at 450-5477. And for those, and you have been doing so wonderful, thank you so much for trusting me with, you know, some of those life issues that you trust me with. I am grateful, and I do not take it lightly or for granted, and I am the only one who answer those, okay? 470-534-2216. I appreciate you. And should you say, you know what, I really don't have anything after the show to talk to you about, but I do have a contribution during the show, then you already know what to do. 758-450-5477. And your contribution will be read on air. And we got this thing called the Bouillon Bowl. And the Bouillon Bowl is my way, our way of saying, you know what, we love you so very much. We understand perplexities in life. And we got a little something to hopefully make your day better and allow you to buy a soda pop. All right? That's the Bouillon Bowl. And this week it will be on Thursday, not tomorrow, not Friday. All right? It will not be held on Friday because that is our holiday. All right? For those who believe that Friday is symbolic of something, that a resurrection had to take place, death, then the resurrection. That is what we celebrate. And we're going to be off air. All right? So, why don't we get started now? The context of this particular kingdom principle, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Ooh-wee. You ready? You know, when I was growing up, right, in Mississippi, there was a commercial that I would watch on television, and it would warn people. And I really believed it was talking to young folk. I just do, right? And the commercial would talk about the effects of drugs. It did. But the creators were they were so on point that they did a demonstration, and they had a cast iron black skillet. And if you're from the South, man, you know what we can do with a black cast iron skillet. Talk about some real good cornbread, right? So they would have this skillet with oil in the middle, right? And you would hear the sizzle of the oil getting hot in the skillet. And then someone would break an egg and pour it into the grease in the hot skillet. And then all you would hear was shh, even louder. And then you would hear the announcer or the voiceover say, "This is your brain." That was the indicator for the skillet. And then when the egg was cracked, right? The egg goes into the skillet, and then he'd say, "This is your brain on drugs." And oh dear God, you get the picture, right? And if that wasn't enough, now this is the 80s, that this big campaign is telling us the detriments of not using your mind. That's basically what they were saying. There was a commercial that the United Negro College Fund, they were in the throes of raising money for HBCUs, for children, for young adults that wanted to go to college, but perhaps the family couldn't afford it and they couldn't afford it on their own. They would be privy to winning a scholarship. And with this particular commercial, just like the one previous, right? This one would say, "A mind is a terrible thing to waste." Morgan Freeman's voice would come on. "A mind is a terrible thing to waste." But the illustrators in the commercial would show a child with a book. And in that book, now the kid's looking at the book, but his imagination was just running rampant. This commercial in the 80s, you saw the galaxy and the Milky Ways and stars, and it was an indication that this kid was thinking big, and your giving would help this child realize what he had been searching for. He was obviously wanting higher education, right? I don't want to add into it, but I want to tell you how this really did play a part and shaped my own life. Yep. You're not going to believe what Marlon just did. You are so wrong for that. Marlon looks up the commercial and he says, "This?" Yep. So you know I'm telling the truth, Ruth, right? So what this did, boy, you messed me up. What this did was I grew up with the belief that if you don't use your mind, you'll lose it. And this was so so ingrained in my thought process that I became zealous for not wasting my mind thinking on things that, one, I cannot change, can't do nothing about. Two, people who do not want to change, can't do nothing about. And then three, circumstances that will only change when my mind changes. You get it? So, today we're going to discuss this context. We're going to lay out some benefits, right, of not wasting your mind. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the pitfalls, because there's a couple of pitfalls that I kind of want to, you already know, so I'm just reiterating what you already know. And then the third thing, seriously, are 2 keys that you can use to avoid. Wow. So you can avoid being a part of that used to be culture of not using your mind. So the benefits of wasting your mind. And this mind, we're talking about thinking. The word mind here is thinking. The benefits of not thinking, wasting your mind. If you ever get a chance to speak to a small child, and we're talking benefits here, right? And you ask them, so what do you want to be when you grow up? And if you just listen long enough, you'll see a kid, man, they'll start to think so wildly and so vividly that their excitement, their fervor for you stopping and asking them, what do you want to be when you grow up? It gives them that platform that they need to be expressive in. And they'll go and they'll tell you some of these things, right, that you want to do, and that they want to do, rather, and you get excited. Because from them, their imagination is everything. That's how they focus in the world. That's how they maneuver. They use their imaginations. So what I learned is there's a benefit, one, to speaking to children, seriously, and to engage with them about what they want, right? And if you study them enough, you'll start to get that same excitement if someone asks you, so what are you going to do with all these gifts and talents that you got? And if they're in tune with what you're not saying, they're going to give you a plethora of things. But then you'll hear, but, you know, that's when I was a child. And then if you're like me, right, I get so sad. I do. I get sad when people don't use their minds and don't use the imagination to use their minds. So it's some benefits to speaking to children, and it's a benefit, right, to listen and then emulate. Who told you? And I'm just going to ask this question. Who told you that you couldn't start that business? Who told you that you were too old to go back to school? Who told you that you wouldn't make it from this divorce? Who told you that you wouldn't make it from this circumstance? I just want to make certain that you understand that a mind is a terrible thing to waste. See, the pitfalls of you not using your mind, one is that you'll have a perpetual cycle. You'll have a perpetual cycle in your life, and if you're not careful, you'll wreck your life. Listen, you will. And then the generations that are waiting on you to get busy doing what you're supposed to be doing in the earth. So, what you saying, Dr. Tanji? I'm all for praying. I am a woman of prayer, a woman of faith. I am. But I am so all for doing too. It's not enough just for us to pray. I'm a proponent of prayer. I believe in prayer. But if you praying and you ain't doing nothing behind your praying, then you're wasting your mind. You're wasting time. We can't afford to do that. 2 keys that I really want to leave you with here. Again, you're probably already doing them, but we're going to talk about it anyway. The first key in you not wasting your mind, right, is believe that you were created wonderfully. I need you to slow down on this one. See, your belief that you are so you are so wonderfully created. If you really look at what I just said, you know that inside of you lies everything needed to be as successful as you need to be, to make certain that you're doing exactly what you were created to do, and to exercise that same DNA that our daddy has. That's amazing. That blows my mind when I'm reminded of who I really am. Not what I see in the mirror, but when I look past what I'm seeing and I can see the fruit, then I know that my life has to be an example. It has to be an example of what I'm reading, what I'm speaking. And the second thing the key that I want you to consider applying to your life so that you're not wasting time, is that you become so purposefully busy doing what you were born to do that if you really stop and think about it, you really don't have any time for anything else. See, I cannot express the importance of this one here, this key. It is so imperative, right? The urgency that comes is every day that you have an opportunity to get up, every day that you have an opportunity to be present in this time and right here, that not only is a blessing first and foremost, but that is your opportunity to get purposefully busy. Please do not rob us of that book. Please don't let that song go where nobody will hear it sung. You gotta understand that you carry in you everything that everybody needs, not just your family, but we're so closely connected that truth of the matter, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you'll hold me up. That's a whole nother principle, but it is the truth. So in my closing, and my yielding, because I know you got something wonderful to say, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. We don't have time to waste it. I want to hear from you. 450-5477 is the number that I'd like for you to use. Seriously. But if you don't, no worries. 470-534-2216. 450-5477 for us in 758, excuse me, for us here in studio. I'll yield because it is a terrible thing to waste. And as we are waiting on you to get what I just said, right? Because I know you got it. I want to say a special shout out to Mr. Robert. I forgot your last name, and I'm so sorry, but I saw you this morning, and thank you, sir. He works with the Ministry of Commerce, and those accolades that you bestowed upon me. I had to kind of shrink them so I could walk through the door. But no, thank you, sir. Thank you for seriously being a support system. I really appreciate you.
All right, I've got a message here
Yes.
via WhatsApp. It says, "Good Wednesday to Team Dr. Tanji." I so agree with what the saying that man is a terrible thing to waste, but I think at the same time, the same should apply to time. Every opportunity that we have to make a change for the better or pursue good, don't waste time. Act now. Petra Joseph is my name.
Miss Petra Joseph. You hit the nail on the head with that one. You're absolutely right, because they're like mutually inclusive. You know, you waste one, you waste the other. So you're absolutely right. The urgency behind that is detrimental to your health. So thank you so very much for your contribution.
I got a message here, not really with the topic, but just saying that there is a special lady who is blind and listening to the program every day, is it possible to place her name in the Booyah book? Maria Jeriff. She's 67 years old. She says she's shy and she doesn't want to call the program. But a message here from Barbara. Barbara says she's always enjoying the program as usual.
Thank you, Miss Barbara, and thank you, Miss
Maria.
Miss Maria
Jareth.
Jareth, you got my soul singing right now. If you could see it, boys, just tap dancing. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much, seriously, for taking the time to listen, right? That means so very much to me. And honey, you need not worry. Your name is in the Bouillon Bowl. We'll be drawing tomorrow.
All right, wonderful. Good morning, Dr. Tanji and Marlon. I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, and she was so distressed. She had been heard by her family, or my family, my friends, and even people in the faith that is supposed to have her back. And there she was telling me how she's sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I immediately remember your message when you said your mama told you when you are tired of being sick and tired about a situation, you don't complain, you change it. Then I encourage her to write her vision down and exercise her faith, and sending faith, and so God could bring it to fruition, basically. Yeah. Thank you, Doc. It's because of your principles I could have helped her today. Message here coming from Kira Harrow.
Wow, Miss Kira Harold. What a Harold, right? Harold?
Harrow.
Harrow.
Yeah.
Harrow.
Yes.
Not with the LD or not with the D.
Harrow.
Harrow. Okay, Miss Harrow. First and foremost, thank you. I'm going to start with you and then I'll get to your friend. Thank you so much for being a friend, man. I just did a topic yesterday. Can you be called upon to be a true friend? And you are an example of what I study, because that's what true friends do. True friends, they're born for adversity, and your dear friend is in the throes of what do I do now? And for you being right there, oh honey, thank you. If I was there, I'd give her a big hug. I would. So give her a hug for me. And then to your beautiful friend. Where you are, my lovely, I have been there more times than not. And it was sometimes the people that said they loved God, the people that spoke in unknown tongues, the people that could shout and man, they could quote a scripture. Wow. Would set the church on fire. But then that human part of them, not the soulish part, but the human part, it plays a role. It played a role, right, in some of the decisions that caused me to be hurt. I am so sorry. I'm so very, very sorry that you're having to experience this, but I'm so very glad that you're experiencing this. Because one, what you will not do is allow it to make you bitter, right? And then two, just like your girlfriend told you, what my mama said. She said it in a southern dialect. Pootie, when you get tired, T-I-E-D, she left out the R. When you get tired of being sick and tired, that's when you're going to do something about it. And my lovely, you're doing something about it, so I am standing and championing with you right now. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for writing down that vision. God will make it plain for you, and you'll see exactly what your next move needs to be.
Good morning, Dr. Tanji and Marlon. I do agree that the mind is a terrible thing to waste. I got up this morning, and my mind is all over the place. I'm just trying to focus. A message there from Sandrina.
Oh, Miss Sandrina. Oh, honey. For you to get up and your mind's all over the place, welcome to the world of genius. Don't you dare think that is double-minded. That is you literally living. When you wake up and your mind is like that, man, you had a real good dream. You just don't remember it. So I would champion you. I'd welcome you, seriously, to start compartmentalizing. And what that is write down exactly what needs to be done today. And then break that up in increments that you can do it, right? And then make certain that you breathe and you rest. all while doing what you're in need of doing today. But congratulations, lady. I'm not making light of where you are. I wake up every day just like that. So I know what I'm talking about.
Good morning, Dr. Tanji and Marlon. Thank you for your message. I do agree that I procrastinate, and I think I lost opportunities. I lost opportunities in the process. Yes. Message here coming from Jeff Martin.
Oh, Mr. Martin. First, thank you, sir, seriously, for taking time out and engaging. And then second, I've been where you are, and I'm going to say this. Those opportunities that I lost, and I know I missed them. I know I did, because I just procrastinated. I wasn't ready. I talked about being ready, but then when it was time to show up, I had nothing, because I did absolutely nothing but just talked. Not talking about you, talking about me. But what God did was, after I repented, I changed my mind and said, you know what, that doesn't work for me. I'm going to start doing this. He redeemed the time. I don't know how he did it. I don't even know when he did it, but I do know that opportunities have been coming, and it's not because of my goodness, right? But because of his and your being ready. So always be ready. Don't get ready, because if you do, it's too late. You gotta be ready, especially in business. Be ready. Opportunities come every single day.
Sherwood Wilson says, good morning, Dr. Tanji and Marlon. Great words of wisdom. Now we understand why we must think on what is lovely and honest and true, etc. We must cultivate good thoughts.
Sharon Wilson, you are, man, spot on. Taken straight out of the Constitution. And he does ask us, he does command us rather, to think of those things, or think on those things that are lovely and pure and of a good report. Because when you think about it, you start thinking about all these great things, these good things, it crowds out all of the darkness. It shut all of the noise off. So use your mind. Use your mind. It's a terrible thing to waste.
Good morning. This is a great message, as usual. I grew up thinking I was not beautiful because I was constantly told by my mom how ugly I was. I had no self-esteem until I met a friend at the age of 20, and he told me differently. He opened my eyes to think differently about myself. My mindset changed tremendously when I started looking at life the way he told me to. This show is so great. I give God thanks for the persons who made the show possible. Bless you all. This is a message coming from Jenny.
Wow, Jenny. Wow, Jenny. Man, dadgummit, I almost got through the show without crying. Man, I was so proud of myself, Miss Jenny. Let me tell you this. First, I am so very sorry that you had to endure something so painful as to be told that you're not beautiful, you're not pretty. Wow. I really do pray that you would forgive your mom and forget those instances when you felt less than, and to your beautiful friend who stopped, interrupted his bloodline to make certain that you were right where you needed to be. Wow. What a friend, right? You are absolutely gorgeous. You are beautiful. You are so smart. You are intelligent. You are above and not beneath. You are a lender and not a borrower. You are the head and not the tail. You are great because your daddy is great. That's who you are, babe. And you've just been entered into the Bouillon Bowl.
Alrighty, let's move on. Good morning, Dr. Tanji and Marlon, and a wonderful Wednesday to you. Sometimes we may think that drugs are the only thing that can waste our mind. However, we can waste our minds away by worrying, doubting ourselves, having fear control us. We can waste our minds by trying to have control over the things that we have no control over, by not having belief in ourselves, thinking that we will never get it right, by worrying about the people, by worrying about what people think about us, by trying to be a people's pleaser, by trying to be a perfectionist. And this list can go on and on. We need to start having a renewed mindset, positive thinking, by learning to accept who you are and that you were created for a purpose. That you're special and that there is only one of you. The mind is very powerful, and whatever we feed it is what will come out. Plant good seeds in your thoughts and good fruits can come out. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Maggie, of course. Thank you so very, very much, Magdalena. Thank you. Wow. I mean, what do you say after that? But thank you. Your face says it all.
Yeah.
Wow.
And your previous writer, the one you just spoke with 2 a while ago, said, now you have me crying.
Oh,
thank you so much for the words directly to me. You just made my day. God bless you all.
Wow. I don't know about you, Marlon, but I can't really make this up. It is what it is. It's straight from Scripture. It's what we live every single day. We live the best that we can. I don't know all of the answers. God knows I do not, but I do know a man who does. And that's the one that I've kind of put my faith and trust in, right? At all times. Thank you so very much for being a part of this movement. How about that? Thank you for taking time. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for walking with me on this journey called life. I love you. I do, from here to the moon and the stars, man. And you can't do nothing about it. Don't forget to smile, because it really does make you feel good, and it just makes you look better. This time, tomorrow, God's willing, the creek doesn't rise. He says the same right here, same station, same time. I love you. Bye.
Sometimes life can knock you off the ground, but surprisingly, an encouraging word can hoist you back to your feet. What we all need is someone in our corner. Someone like Dr. Tanji.
Hi, I have 3 questions for you. 1, have you discovered your purpose? 2, have you discovered your ability? And 3, are you planning your life's path?
Dr. Tanji has inspired audiences on radio stations throughout the US and in the Caribbean on KISS FM with the Dr. Tanji Show. Now, sister station Hot 7 TV teams up with KISS FM to bring the Dr. Tanji Show to television.
I will share my wealth of experience, my affinity to life, and assist you in fulfilling your call. By tuning in to the Dr. Tanji Show on Hot 7 TV and KISS FM, you and I will begin to explore the answers to these questions and many more. And in these challenging times, it's just what the doctor ordered. The Dr. Tanji Show comes to Hot 7 TV on the 4th of February.